Have you ever walked through something so difficult, so unexpected, that you thought to yourself, "There's no way I'm going to make it through this," but somehow you did? You didn't have the money, you didn't have the connections, and you didn't have the strength, but you came through anyway. And not only did you came through with peace in your heart, provision in your hands, and clarity in your steps. That's not chance, that's not luck. That's something greater. That's a sign that you were never walking alone. See, there are moments in life where it becomes obvious that a higher presence is involved. Not because someone told you, not because you read it somewhere, but because you lived it. And when you start recognizing the patterns, when you start seeing that certain outcomes keep happening that you can't explain, you begin to realize there's evidence all around you. Today, I want to talk to you about 4 things, 4 clear, undeniable things that show you when God is with you. Not just in theory, in reality, in pressure, in process, and in power, because He doesn't just walk above you. He walks with you, and there are signs that prove it. Unshakable peace in the midst of chaos is not something that comes from this world. It cannot be produced by willpower, positive thinking, or a calm environment. It comes from within, from a source that is greater than you. This peace defies logic. It doesn't make sense to the natural mind. When everything around you is breaking down, when the bills are due, the reports are bad, the pressure is mounting, and the odds are stacked against you, yet your heart remains calm, that's not natural, that's supernatural. That's a sign that you are not standing alone. Something, or rather someone, is standing with you. There's an inward assurance, a deep settledness that cannot be shaken. People may ask you, "How are you so calm right now?" And you can't even explain it. You just know everything is going to be all right. You may not have all the answers, but you know the one who does. That kind of peace is not the absence of trouble. It is the presence of a greater reality. And that reality becomes more real than what you see or feel. This peace comes when your spirit is in alignment with truth. It flows like a river when your confidence is rooted not in circumstances, but in promises. It's a stillness that comes from knowing that the ground under you is solid, even if the wind is strong. This isn't denial. It's discernment. You're not ignoring the storm. You've just chosen to trust the one who commands it. And that trust produces a calm that nothing can counterfeit. You don't get this peace by trying harder. You get it by resting deeper. You get it when you've come to a place where you know, deep down, that you're not alone. Peace in the storm proves presence in the storm. Think about it. If you're walking through fire and you don't feel burned, something, or someone, is protecting you. If you're sitting in the lion's den and you're not being eaten alive, something unseen is holding the mouths of those lions shut. That quietness, that stillness, that inward calm, that's the signal, that's the evidence, that's the witness. That's how you know it's not hype, it's not emotion, it's not religious performance. It's a spiritual reality that carries you through what should have taken you out. And when you carry this kind of peace, people around you begin to notice. You become a sign and a wonder. You stand as proof that there is a power beyond the natural. You become a living testimony that God is not far away, but present. And when peace reigns in your heart while chaos rules the world, it's a bold declaration in the spirit realm. I am not afraid. I am not shaken. I am not alone. This peace isn't fragile. It doesn't leave you in trouble. In fact, it gets stronger in trouble. It rises up when the world comes crashing down. Because it's not from the world. It's from above. And it only shows up when He is with you. Supernatural provision is not the result of careful budgeting or smart planning, although those things have their place. It is the kind of supply that shows up when natural means run out. It's the provision that comes when you've exhausted every logical option and there's still a gap, yet somehow your needs are met. That is not coincidence. That is divine activity. When you walk with the presence of God, provision becomes a pattern in your life. Not because you're lucky, and not because you manipulated circumstances, but because there's a covenant at work that cannot be broken. When resources appear out of nowhere, when someone shows up with exactly what you were praying about, when an opportunity opens at just the right time to meet a need you didn't even express out loud, that's evidence you are not walking alone. Someone is watching over you. There's a flow that follows faith. When your heart is set on trusting, not trying, not striving, but trusting, you step into a place where the supernatural becomes your supply chain. Think of the times you didn't know how the bill would be paid, but the money came. Maybe it wasn't early, maybe it didn't come the way you expected, but it came. That's not just a good break. That's provision orchestrated by unseen hands. That's the kind of supply that doesn't just meet your need. It speaks to you. It tells you that you are cared for, that you are being watched over, that there is attention on your life from above. It's not always dramatic, but it's always exact. And the more you learn to depend on that unseen provision, the more often you'll recognize it. It's easy to trust when the bank account is full, when the job is secure, and when the numbers line up. But real faith is proven when none of those things are in place, and yet you have no lack. That's when you know you're being carried. That's when you know your source isn't the system. When you live in that place, you stop panicking every time there's a financial test. Because you've seen it before. You've seen bread come in the wilderness. You've seen oil multiply in the jar. You've seen fish with coins in their mouths. Those aren't just stories, they're patterns of divine provision. And when that pattern keeps repeating in your life, you can't deny the presence that's behind it. Provision doesn't just bring relief. It brings revelation. It tells you who is with you. It shows you what kind of hand is guiding your journey. It speaks louder than a sermon and clearer than a prophecy. Every time the provision shows up right when it's needed, it becomes a reminder. You are not abandoned. You are not invisible. You are not surviving on your own strength. There is a hand moving behind the scenes. There is a shepherd who sees the need before you speak it. And when the supply comes in ways no one can explain, that's when you know. You're not walking through life alone. Divine favor is not something you can earn through effort or impress people into giving you. It's not based on your qualifications, your connections, or your reputation. It's not something you can manipulate or manufacture. It comes from an invisible presence operating on your behalf. It shows up when people begin to treat you better than your resume says they should. When you get invited into rooms you didn't even know existed, when your name is brought up in places where decisions are being made, and you weren't even in the conversation. That's favor. It's not about popularity. It's about purpose. When someone chooses you for a role that others were more suited for, when someone goes out of their way to help you with no personal benefit to themselves, that's not chance. That's a signal. Favor is not random. It is relational. It follows those who are walking with divine presence. You begin to notice favor when things that should be difficult become easy. You apply for something and you're not the best candidate, but somehow you're the one who gets the call. You go into situations expecting resistance, but instead you're met with open arms. People say yes to you without fully understanding why. That's not charm, that's not good communication. That's evidence of something bigger moving through you. Favor makes people want to help you, partner with you, promote you, even protect you. It positions you in ways your skill never could. And when it happens again and again, when it becomes a pattern and not a one-time event, you have to step back and recognize that there is a divine agenda attached to your life. This kind of favor is not limited to moments of increase. It can show up even in times of opposition. When enemies plan to block you and their plans fall apart, when someone tries to discredit you, but the truth comes out before they can strike, there's favor operating as a shield around your life. It's not just opening doors, it's closing the wrong ones, it's rerouting attacks, it's setting up protection without you even knowing you were in danger. You walk through days you thought would break you, and look back and realize they blessed you. That's the power of favor. It does more than promote. It preserves. It doesn't just elevate. It surrounds. When people around you can't understand why you keep getting breaks, why others lean toward you, why things work out for you in strange and unexpected ways, you don't have to explain it. You just have to recognize it. You're walking under something. You're carrying something. And it's not because you did everything right. It's because you're connected to the right source. That favor will keep showing up where it shouldn't. It will keep lifting you when you don't have the strength. It will make a way when logic says there is none. And when favor keeps finding you, that's the undeniable sign. You're not walking alone. When prayers are answered in a way that aligns precisely with the promises you've stood on, it becomes clear that something greater is listening. These are not vague wishes or emotional hopes. These are specific requests grounded in truth, spoken in faith, and fulfilled in time. When you pray according to what has been promised, and the result mirrors that exact promise, you know you are not speaking into the air. You are being heard, and the one who hears is responding not just casually but intentionally. That kind of answer is not natural. It's personal. It tells you that your voice matters to someone with power. There's a difference between random outcomes and targeted answers. When something you specifically prayed for comes to pass in detail, you can't chalk it up to chance. You may have been praying for peace, and suddenly, without any external change, peace floods your heart. Or you may have been praying for wisdom in a decision, and a path opens clearly in front of you that you couldn't have planned yourself. These aren't just outcomes. They are conversations you speak and you receive, you ask and you find. That ongoing exchange is evidence that you are not alone in your journey. The power of answered prayer lies not only in the result, but in the relationship it reveals. You're not just making declarations into the universe. You are talking to someone who listens, someone who responds, someone who acts in line with what was spoken. And when that happens repeatedly, your confidence grows, not in yourself, but in the one who walks with you. You no longer pray hoping something might happen. You pray knowing something will happen, because it has happened before. There is something deeply confirming about seeing your private prayers answered in public ways. It reminds you that even when no one else sees your struggle, your surrender, or your requests, they are not ignored. You don't need to prove yourself or perform to earn attention. You simply align your words with truth, speak them with trust, and expect results. When those results come with accuracy and timing that only a divine hand could orchestrate, you are left with only one conclusion. There is someone walking with you who hears and responds. There's a kind of strength that doesn't look like loud declarations or bold gestures. It's quiet, steady, and unshaken. It shows up when you should be overwhelmed, but somehow you're standing. You're not crumbling, you're not quitting, and you're not collapsing under the pressure. This strength isn't natural. It doesn't come from good rest, a supportive circle, or even strong willpower. It comes from somewhere deeper. It rises from within when everything around you says you should be falling apart. You face pressure, but you don't break. You face opposition, but you don't back down. You face sorrow, but you don't lose hope. This kind of strength is not your own, it's given. And when it shows up right when you need it, that's how you know you're not alone. You've seen it before, moments when you should have lost your mind, but peace held you steady, times when you felt empty, but somehow still poured into others, days when you were weary, but still got up, showed up, and walked through what felt impossible. You didn't know how you were doing it. You just knew you couldn't have done it by yourself. That's not coincidence, and it's not just resilience. It's supernatural reinforcement. It's strength tailor-made for the battle you're in. And it comes exactly when you need it. Not always early, but never late. It appears in the moment of demand and sustains you until the pressure lifts. You may not feel powerful in those moments, but you are stable. You may not feel victorious, but you're not defeated. You may not even look like you're winning, but you haven't gone under, and that matters, because endurance is evidence. Staying power is proof, and the longer you walk through hardship without being consumed by it, the clearer it becomes that something unseen is carrying you. This isn't about being fearless. It's about walking forward even when fear whispers. It's about holding on when everything says let go. It's about standing your ground when retreat seems easier. People around you might not see it. They may wonder why you're not reacting the way most people do. They might expect you to break down, give up, lash out. But you don't. You respond from a place of calm authority. Not arrogance, not denial, but quiet strength. That kind of response is not manufactured. It's imparted. It doesn't come from studying strategies. It comes from staying connected to something greater than you. And the longer you live in that flow of inner strength, the more you realize it's not just about surviving storms. It's about learning who is in the storm with you. Because when you should be broken but you're still whole, when you should be bitter but you're still kind, when you should be exhausted but you're still standing, that's the mark. That's the proof. That's the undeniable evidence that you are not walking through life alone. Someone is holding you up. Someone is strengthening you from the inside out. When life puts pressure on you from every side, through storms, lack, rejection, unanswered questions, or overwhelming situations, there are undeniable signs that show you're not facing it alone. That peace that doesn't make sense, that provision that arrives just in time, that favor that opens doors you didn't knock on, those prayers that are answered with divine precision, and that strength that holds you up when you should have fallen, these are not random events. These are clear, consistent signals that there is a presence with you. A presence that goes before you, stands beside you, and lives within you. You don't need to guess if you're being watched over. The evidence is in your story, the signs are in your survival, and the fruit is in your walk. You are not forgotten. You are not forsaken. You are not doing this alone. You are walking with power, purpose, and a divine presence that never leaves. As you walk forward, may your eyes stay open to the signs, your heart stay sensitive to the guidance, and your faith stay anchored in truth. You are surrounded, supported, and supplied more than you know. Go boldly, speak confidently, live with expectation. Because when God is with you, nothing can stand against you. Thank you for listening, thank you for believing, and thank you for walking this journey with faith. May favor follow you, may peace guard you, and may strength rise within you every step of the way. Good luck, and stay blessed.